Hey everyone, this is Dale Berkebile, and welcome back to the Tao Review. And so, if you have been watching a few of the other videos, the whole purpose of this program, this series that I'm doing, is to cover one verse of the Tao Te Ching every week. And so now we're on verse 7. So we've been doing this for this is the seventh week. And um, if you like this, give us a thumbs up, share it, that sort of thing. But if you're new, welcome. Okay. And so what I have been doing is reviewing Wayne Dyer's book, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life, as this was the first introduction I had to the Tao Te Ching. But what I'm also doing these weeks is I am reading a few other versions every week to kind of compare what my thoughts are, and then I review some of the thoughts that Wayne shares and that sort of thing. Now, again, my name is Dale Berkebile. I am doing this video series for Hellagood Life, which is a company that I created a platform that I created to help people live their most fulfilling life. And the reason that I'm doing this series is because this book and the Tao actually changed my life. Now, I was struggling with depression and things like that, and getting started on this path was something that really helped me out. So I want to give back. I want to try and help others out, which leads me to my purpose in life. My purpose is to challenge people to become innovative leaders so that we can change the world together. So you being here, I'm challenging you to step up to be an innovative leader, and I welcome you to join the movement to make the world a little bit better. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into verse 7 today, which is living beyond ego, is what Wayne Dyer calls it. Heaven is eternal. The earth endures. Why do heaven and earth last forever? They do not live for themselves only. This is the secret to their durability. For this reason, the sage puts himself last, and so ends up ahead. He stays a witness to life, so he endures. Serve the needs of others, and all your own needs will be fulfilled. Through selfless action, fulfillment is attained. Okay, now let me just talk about one thing that I probably should have addressed in the first chapter when I first kicked off this series. I was made aware just recently, a couple of weeks ago, that this has a very male-focused tone. So far, the first 7 verses, Wayne tends to take a he as the sage, or whatever, when he's talking about things. Well, being a bit of a feminist, I believe it's important to cover both the male and female side of things when we're talking about things. So bear with me as I share some of this stuff, and know that it's not a male dominated focus. But let me do something else where I kind of touch on this a little bit, and we'll dig into that. But I want to share Stephen Mitchell. This is my favorite version of the Tao, actually. Can you see that? It's there you go, the Tao Te Ching. This is interesting when we read 2 different versions of the same verse, or multiple versions sometimes. Let me tell you what Stephen has to say here. The Tao is infinite, eternal. Why is it eternal? It was never born. Thus, it can never die. Why is it infinite? It has no desires for itself. Thus, it is present for all beings. The master strays behind. That is why she is ahead. She is detached from all things. This is why she is one with them. Because she has let go of herself, she is perfectly fulfilled. Anyhow, I share that because that gives a female perspective. I think we should cover both. We should talk about both. But when we get into ego, it's really important to address that. So that's one of the reasons I addressed it here. But I think that one of the things that's interesting is, you know, I have been exploring ego for several years for myself, my own ego. And I can say that by helping others, I am more fulfilled. And that's one of the things it says, the last verse, the last line of verse 7 from in here is, those selfless or through selfless action, fulfillment is attained. And that's so true. But this verse kind of taps into the importance of helping others and not being so self-involved, self-consumed, and really focused on the ego. So this is challenging. This is kind of counterculture ideas, I guess. And this book is some, the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu is the original author. Is some 3,000 plus years old. So it's kind of interesting hearing a perspective from so long ago. But let me share some of Wayne's thoughts. Identify exclusively with the physicality of life and basing our existence on acquiring and achieving things disregards our infinite nature and limits our awareness of Tao-ness. So by being self-focused, we are being less Tao. Being civilized in most cultures primarily constitutes being consumed with attaining success in the acquisition of power and things, which supposedly will provide happiness and prevent unhappiness. So I ask you, how's that playing out in your world? Have you been chasing success? Have you been chasing stuff, power, money, wealth, fame, all that stuff? And has it brought you more happiness? Or have you found yourself on the treadmill, the hedonic treadmill, chasing, finding that you're actually unhappy? The Tao, particularly in this 7th verse, is suggesting that we update those notions and choose to exist for more than ourselves or our tribe. That is, to radically change our thoughts in order to change our lives. And, the interesting thing about this is we live in a time right now that is so divided, at least in the States. I don't know about around the world. I think around the world too, when it comes to masking for the pandemic, getting vaccinations, when it comes to politics, Republicans versus Democrats, that sort of thing. We're so divided. We are extremely tied to our ego and our identity, who we think we are, who our tribe is, and we're ready to, burn down the rest, right? And so this kind of undermines all of that. The sage grasps the everlasting nature of the Tao has gone beyond false identification with the ego, and instead has a living connection to the Tao. This person puts others first, asks nothing in return, and wholeheartedly serves. In this way, the sage lives the ultimate paradox of the Tao. By giving without asking, they attract everything that they're capable of handling or needing. By putting himself last, the sage ends up ahead. By putting others before himself, he endures just like the Tao. The sage emulates the natural philanthropy of the Tao, and all of his needs are fulfilled in the process. The ego is a demanding force that's never satisfied. It constantly requires that we seek more money, power, acquisitions, glory, and prestige to provide the fuel it thinks it must have. Living the Tao-centered life rather than the ego-centered one removes us from that rat race, as it offers inner peace and satisfying fulfillment. So we need to ask, does any of that strike a chord? Have we found that, running like crazy on that hedonic treadmill, chasing money, power, acquisition, glory, prestige, all those things, has that actually hindered our happiness or our fulfillment in life? When you're tempted to focus on your personal successes and defeats, shift your attention in that very moment to a less fortunate individual. You'll feel more connected to life as well as more satisfied than when you're dealing on your own circumstances. Imagine what it would be like if you dismissed ego's hold on you. Serve others and watch how all that you give returns to you tenfold. Now, one thing that I want to talk about, I am by no means a superstar expert in the Tao. I've been studying it for several years. But one thing that I would say is I'm not doing this as a form of law of attraction, right? You do these kind of things and everything will come back to you. Like wealth, rich, fame, all those kind of things. What we're trying to do is find internal peace and make a better world, right? You remember my purpose in life is to challenge people to become innovative leaders so that we can change the world together. It's about building community. It's about living our best lives. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's all about fame and wealth and all that stuff. So anyhow, I guess my question for you, because every day we do one of these videos in this series, I always ask a question or two. How do you feel about this? What do you feel about your ego? Have you thought about it much? Is it something that, and share this stuff down in the comments. What are your thoughts on your ego? Do you think it's a good thing, a bad thing? How does it get you into trouble? Is it something that when you help someone else, how do you feel? Does that give you a warm fuzzy and make you feel good inside? And how long does that warm fuzzy feel last? Is it something that sticks around for a long time, or is it something that is fleeting? Which is more fleeting? The feel good from helping someone else or getting that new car or whatever it may be, that new job. Anyhow, share some thoughts down in the comments. I want to hear what your thoughts are on this stuff and what we talked about today. I also, if you like this, again, give us a thumbs up. Pound the like button and share this with anyone else that you think may be interested in this stuff. If you also look up here, I think you can subscribe to the channel so you'll be able to get more of these videos and every time we put them out once a week. And then over here, I think we'll have other videos that are going to be relevant to your specific interest in other videos that we've created on this channel. So there's this series, but there's also other videos that I've created that I'm starting to build a little bit of a library here of other topics. So anyhow, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and peace, love, and respect to you, my friends. You have a great day.